Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. So as per usual, the timestamps will be in the description bar below as well as the comments. So let's just get started here. Okay, so starting off with Aries, the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the card frustrated coming out here. Okay, so it says prevented, hindered, or blocked. Okay. Feel like there's something here that this person feels like it's not going their way. It's almost like they feel like they're, because when I look at that image, I'm getting an energy of feeling like you're in the middle of chaos, but also feeling a bit powerless about it. Also in the image there, he is looking at his watch. So I wonder if there's something to do with timing here, where this person may feel like they're running out of time, or they're feeling an urgency to do something or communicate something, but feeling like they are hindered in some way or feeling restricted in one way or another here. So let's see, how is this person feeling towards Aries? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, so this makes sense. The Knight of Swords is a very fast or quick moving energy, but I do sense that this person has an urgency to offer you something. So it's like this person could be wanting to prove themselves to you this week, as a generic example, or they have communicated something to you, but they want to actually put action behind what they have communicated. So what they're trying to prove to you could obviously vary. It is a general read, but I see someone who feels, you know, an urgency to offer you something stable. They feel like an opportunity is in front of them and they want to act on it, but there are some sort of restrictions that are, you know, causing them to feel a bit overwhelmed or frustrated. Okay, how is this person feeling about Aries? Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles followed by the Five of Pentacles. The restrictions that, excuse me, the restrictions that this person feels could definitely be financial. We do have the King of Pentacles followed by the Five of Pentacles coming out in their feelings. So this could be someone who is very career oriented and maybe something is not going their way. Maybe this person runs a business and they feel like they're not, you know, something is not resulting in what they are desiring it to result in. And so with the Five of Pentacles, if it's not financial troubles, it could even be this person's a living situation that is changing. But it could also, you know, be directly impacting the connection with you. Ten of Pentacles. Yeah. And it's interesting because as I opened this spread here, I did see the Ace of Pentacles. So a lot of Pentacle energy. You definitely could be thinking about an earth sign. My apologies, guys. I didn't realize it stopped recording, but as I was saying, you definitely could be thinking of an earth sign here. But what I see is someone who feels, you know, some sort of a financial block, or like I said, a block when it comes to their stability. And the reason why they're frustrated is they're wanting to offer you something stable. They're wanting to invest in you. This is someone who is thinking about a connection with you, but in a very practical way. And there's something in their current environment, right? Or something in their reality where it makes them feel like they don't have enough, or they are not in the space to offer you what they feel like you're deserving of. But I do see it as someone who really wants to invest in you, but they feel like they're not where they want to be, or they feel very restricted. And I think that's why we have the frustrated card there. We have the Two of Cups clarifying the King of Pentacles, yeah. You definitely have someone who's viewing you as a soulmate, Aries, someone who feels very connected to you. They could sense the similarities, but they feel like the differences between the both of you is what kind of drew them closer here. And because the Two of Cups speaks about two very different energies coming together in a very beautiful manner. And so I do see it as, you know, the difference is being highlighted, but in a good way. This is someone who feels like extremely connected to you, for one, and they also feel guided towards you. Something about connecting with you feels right. Something about, you know, a higher level of commitment with you feels right. We have the Three of Swords clarifying the Five of Pentacles. You have someone here who really doesn't want to ruin what you guys have going on, right? Even if they feel that things are not where they want to be, this is someone who's really over-analyzing or overthinking the situation and wondering how they would feel if it would result in some sort of hurt before that hurt even occurs. So it's almost like this person is preparing for the worst, because it's like wanting something more with you or wanting things to be stable, but they are thinking about that from their current circumstances, and their current circumstances make them feel as if they're not able to offer you that, or it's a mentality of lack where they are in their own way. We have the Star card clarifying the Ten of Pentacles. They feel like a connection with you would be very healing. This could even be someone who you have history with, where they're wanting to communicate with you and they really want things to be stable this time around, and they're hoping that they can heal possibly what was shattered or broken in the past. But there is either A, some sort of financial restrictions that they feel, or B, it's a case of self-sabotage where they're in their own way. Because not for all of you is it going to be that this person, you know, recently became unemployed or they lost a job, etc. For some of you, it is just someone who's feeding into their negative thoughts. We have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah. I truly believe this is someone who wants to prove themselves to you. A lot of pentacle energy in their feelings, which means they're really looking at things from a very logical perspective. And with the Six of Pentacles, that's this person being in a very generous energy. What I see with the Six of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles, I'm kind of reading it hand in hand. This is someone who wants to invest in you. This is someone who wants to prove themselves to you through their actions. But this is someone where their stability, their finances, their career really matters a lot to them. So even if you're, you know, listening to my read and you're like, you know, I'm not really asking this person for much financially, etc., this is their way of proving that they care for you, right? So for example, if this is someone who really wants to be a provider for you, but they feel like they're not in that space to, you know, be that very person for you, you know, that's the very thing that's kind of brewing in their mind. Ten of Swords, putting an end to any sort of hurt or any sort of disappointment here. Yes, I am reading the Three of Swords and the Ten of Swords as some sort of potential, you know, very hurtful or a very hurtful ending that, you know, occurred in the past. But I also see it as, you know, with the surrounding cards, that this is someone who really wants to reconnect with you, and they're looking at things from a different perspective. It's like, for example, if you felt there was a lot of hurt caused in this connection in the past because there wasn't much of a realistic approach, that's exactly what's changing, because I'm specifically getting someone who is looking at things from more of a realistic and logical perspective. And we have the Nine of Pentacles here. Yeah. So you have someone who's working on their own stability, working on their finances, and the Nine of Pentacles being clarified by the Seven of Pentacles. So it's someone who wants to be better for you, better for the connection here. But I will say that this is a week where, you know, this spread is kind of giving me the energy of career or finances or stability, and trying to, you know, feel their best, or trying to come out of a space of feeling lack. And it's because they want to invest in a connection with you. It's because when they connect with you, they want to show you something or be able to prove something to you. Right? And the main thing that I see here is this person wants more stability in this connection. So they want to offer you something stable. They do feel a bit restricted because of their current circumstances, but I do see them analyzing the situation and feeling like it's worth the investment and doing what it takes here. Yes, I do acknowledge the hurt that has occurred, but I also see that this is someone who wants to make it up to you, someone who still feels connected here. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Taurus. Okay, Taurus, let's see. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay. Okay, guys, so we have two cards that came out here. We have longing, okay, and then we also have powerless. Paralyzed, ineffective, weak, yearning, wistful, homesick. It's a very clear message here, Taurus, that this is someone or the person that you're thinking of is most definitely thinking about you, but feeling very defeated. I'm kind of getting the energy of the Nine of Wands in tarot, so we'll see if that comes up in their feelings. But what I see here is someone who feels very defeated, wounded. They are missing you and definitely thinking about you, but very isolated. I feel like even if this is someone who's very social or they're out and about, they are spending a lot of time on their own, okay, in solitude. There is an energy of feeling very nostalgic, possibly even visiting past memories here. But when it comes to the now or doing something in the current moment, they do feel very powerless or defeated. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, okay. So we have the Four of Cups on the bottom of the deck here, and we have the Queen of Swords. So with the Four of Cups and the Queen of Swords, Taurus, I do feel like it's someone who, again, you know, they're looking at the current situation with you. They're feeling very upset about it. They're not emotionally content. It's not something that they are looking at and are feeling happy about. And with the Queen of Swords, it almost seems to me like they're holding on to a level of frustration, or there is something that they are upset about, but they still feel like they miss you, or they still feel like they're longing for you as much as they may be upset about something else. And it seems to me that it's someone who's not speaking to you, someone who's silent with you, but they're not happy while they are silent with you. It's like they're still thinking about you, or thinking about maybe how to reconnect, or that sort of thing. So let's see, how's this person feeling about Taurus? There's also an energy of this person feeling like they have been upset for quite a while. So it could even be where, you know, generically speaking, if like you're upset about something and then, you know, you're upset about it for X amount of time where you become tired of it. You're like, you know what, I really want to get over this, or I really don't want to keep thinking about this and causing myself to feel more aggravated, etc. Like that's the kind of energy that I'm getting here. So it may be someone that you haven't been communicating with for quite some time here. So let's see, we have the Nine of Pentacles in their feelings, okay? The Fool card. This person views you as a very independent, you know, stable individual. They may feel like, you know, you have your own opinions, or you're able to kind of like, there's something about your decisions being very independent as well that's coming through. Now with the Fool card, I do see it as this person maybe fantasizing, or it seems to me it's more of like a dreamy kind of energy where it's like, I want to take a leap of faith towards Taurus, or I want to connect with Taurus, but it's almost as if like they're having a hard time taking action. Ace of Pentacles. Yeah. Page of Swords. Because I was like, as much as, you know, the Fool card and the Ace of Pentacles could be a new beginning or offering you something here, there's a lot of like, it's more of an indirect energy. As much as this person is thinking of you this week and very curious about you, I mean, they could be keeping tabs on you, or they could be curious about you, but again, they're not being direct about it. But really, it is an energy of having a desire for a new beginning, but there's also a very hesitant energy here, or feeling like what they're thinking about can't really, you know, become their reality. So we have the King of Swords, okay? Yeah, and we did see the Queen of Swords. So this person may feel like there's something here that you're upset about as well. But what I see clearly is that this is someone who's not speaking to you in the current moment, because they're really trying to not only figure you out, but they're wondering if you're still you know, upset, or if you're still thinking about something that caused a break between the both of you in the past here. Because the way that they're viewing you, Taurus, is as if you became frustrated with a situation where you kind of just shifted the focus to yourself, which is why we have the Nine of Pentacles being the first card in their feelings here. Now, with the Nine of Pentacles being clarified by the King of Swords, this could also speak about someone who has become single. Okay, so this person could have recently went through some sort of a separation or a breakup here. Or I could just be picking up on what happened or what occurred between the both of you. Ace of Swords clarifying the Fool card, yeah. Very eager to tell you their truth or speak their truth. There could be something that this person was battling in the past that caused, you know, them to neglect the situation with you. And that could be something that they're wanting to speak about here. The other thing that I see is like this person, you know, they're realizing what they need to release, because the Ace of Swords also speaks about like sacrifice or needing to release something in order to have something else that you desire. So it's understanding that you can't have it all. And so with the Ace of Swords, I do believe that this is someone who is releasing something or finally understanding what they needed to let go of, maybe what they needed to stop doing in order to have a connection with you. We have the Page of Wands clarifying the Ace of Pentacles. I see communication after a pause, but it's going to be where it's not like this person is approaching you and, you know, speaking about maybe what you guys are thinking about or jumping into finding a conclusion for what caused a separation. It's like this person could be reaching out to you in a very lighthearted energy. There may also be an age gap between you and this person. We do have 2 pages here, but what I see is someone who may, you know, something along the lines of they are missing you, or they may use a small opportunity to start a conversation with you. Like, for example, if you work with this person, maybe there's something that is very, you know, just a small opportunity that they get to speak to you, and they use that opportunity so that you guys could start conversing again. You know, that's the kind of energy that I'm getting. Then we have the Judgment clarifying the Page of Swords. There's something here that this person is figuring out about you, but in a very indirect way. So like maybe you've posted something on your social media, and so this person is shocked to figure something out about your life or something that has changed for you. But it's like they're able to figure this out through you in a way. Yes, like if it's social media or maybe through like a mutual friend and you told a mutual friend, but it's not like directly from you. Does that make sense? And so they're realizing some sort of a change that is occurring for you in the current moment, whether it's to do with your personal life, your career, your friends, family, etc. 7 of Swords clarifying the King of Swords here. There could even be some sort of dishonesty that is causing this person to feel a bit hesitant or powerless. Like if this person is acknowledging the dishonesty in this connection, maybe they feel like that's something that they can't come back from. So as much as they, you know, want a new start here, that could be the very thing that is causing them to feel like that's not realistic. What's the 7 of Swords? The Ace of Cups. Yeah. I mean, there's 3 aces here. It just lets me know that this is someone who is really desiring to reconnect with you. And it's like they're not being delusional, where it's like, oh, nothing is wrong, because the 7 of Swords is upright, where it's like, okay, I know that either I have been dishonest or there have been secrets in this connection in the past. But, you know, despite that, they're wanting to, you know, reconnect with you, but they don't necessarily feel too hopeful. Then we have the Hierophant clarifying the Ace of Swords. There's definitely a commitment, okay, that was somehow impacting a commitment. Like that is the energy that I'm getting. I know that sounds a bit confusing, but there is a truth coming out about a commitment. So whether this person was committed elsewhere, whether you were committed elsewhere, right? There's something like there's almost another commitment that was somehow impacting the connection that you guys had here, which was also in the way of you guys creating a commitment together. So even if it was like career or a family member or a friend, or, you know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic partnership, but there was definitely something else that this person could have felt entitled to, where they felt like they were neglecting the situation with you. Lovers. Yeah. Some of you could be thinking of a Gemini. With the Lovers, I do believe it's someone who still feels, again, very connected to you. And I think that's the reason why they want to clear things up, or they're still thinking about a new beginning. because, you know, despite what has occurred between the both of you, they still have emotions for you. We have the Three of Pentacles clarifying the Judgment. So at the least, they hope that you guys could be on the same page or come to some sort of an agreement. Even if it doesn't end in a commitment here, they're wanting to at least be on the same page or clear the air. Because the Three of Pentacles being the closing card here, what they want is to feel more at ease when they think about this situation. They don't want to feel powerless. They don't want to, you know, feel like you guys are not going to, you know, speak again or reconnect. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini. So let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have two cards here. We have worried and we have discouraged. Concerned, troubled, uneasy, dispirited, disheartened, deterred. Well, off the bat here, Gemini, I do sense that this is someone who is like concerned about you. Like there could be something that you're going through that you're not really, you know, being vocal about to this person. But it's almost like a concern. So it could be concerned about you or concerned about like the dynamic with you, maybe feeding into negative thoughts or thinking about the worst case scenario here, because the worried card is kind of giving me the energy of the Nine of Swords in tarot. Now, this is a very specific message, so only take it if it resonates, but I do see someone who is feeling discouraged because of something that happened very recently. It's almost like they felt like they were going on the right path and everything was running smoothly. And for example, maybe there was a hiccup, or maybe, you know, you expressed something to them that they didn't see coming. It's like, it's almost like they feel like, wow, things were going fine, or I thought I was on the right path, and then, you know, I get met with this obstacle that I don't feel prepared for. Okay, let's see. Okay, so we have the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and we have the World card. Someone relocating or possibly even needing to travel for work could be impacting this connection, like even if it's specifically this week. Like, you know, for example, if things were running very smoothly and someone here needed to relocate or travel for work, that could be the hiccup that is causing this person to feel a bit discouraged. Like kind of like, well, what do I do now? You know, but there's something to do with travel, or I could even be picking up on like a long distance union here. Okay. Alrighty. How is this person feeling about Gemini? Page of Cups. Eight of Swords. Okay, yeah. I mean, this is someone who is viewing you as an individual that they really admire. You know, with the Page of Cups, there could be something about you that's very youthful, or something about you where their inner child feels very connected to you. Could be a very healing energy even with the Page of Cups. But with the Eight of Swords, I see it as someone who feels very stuck. And again, I see it as a level of concern. I see it as worry, you know, looking at a situation, feeling like it's not occurring the way, or things are not occurring the way that I want them to. And also the Page of Cups, as well as the Eight of Swords, could even be letting me know that there are children in this dynamic, which could be placing some sort of restrictions when it comes to the connection that you guys share. Okay, we have the Seven of Cups. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. Yeah, I feel like like this week when this person's thinking of you, how they feel is very confused. They feel like there's a lot that is up in the air. So it may even be that this person feels like a lot of their questions went unanswered, or they're currently curious about something, but they're not really, voicing their concern to you, and that could just be creating more confusion, by like bottling it up, or not being open about it. But it almost seems to me that this person is not seeing something clearly. When you have the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups, and so it's in the heart of the spread there in their feelings, there is something here that feels like an illusion. There's something here that may seem a little more complex in their mind than the reality of it. And in no way am I trying to downplay this person's emotions or how they feel, but the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups could quite literally be when you're having a hard time seeing past illusions. Whether it's something seems a little more or it seems worse in your mind, whether it's, clouded thoughts where you're trying to come to a clear solution, but you feel like you're bombarded with so many emotions and so many thoughts where you can't think clearly. Some sort of brain fog. We have the Sun card. You could be thinking of a Leo. They're trying to remind themselves of like the positive aspects of this relationship or the positive memories. I do see that. They're viewing you as someone who just makes them very happy with the Sun card. They feel like they are emotionally content when they are with you. But the Sun card also speaks about something being illuminated to this person, which makes sense because it's followed by the Eight of Swords and the Seven of Cups. So I feel like, this person is going to be or feeling very confused, but it is going to be cleared up. Whether it's by the end of the week or middle of the week here, I do see someone feeling very confused, but there's going to be some sort of clarity that they gain, where it's going to either feel like a full circle moment or something is going to make more sense to them. And I feel, this is someone where, yes, the situation feels difficult, but they could also be very hard on themselves this week, where they're thinking about it in a more complex, like from a more complex point of view. Page of Swords clarifying the Page of Cups. This person's definitely keeping tabs on you. I feel like this is someone who wants to know what you're up to, but doesn't want you to know that they are wanting to know, pretty much, right? So it's a very indirect energy here. Even if you're communicating with this person, there are certain things that they are not asking you, hence why they are still confused. And so the things that the questions that they're not asking you, they're trying to figure it out on their own, is the kind of energy that I'm getting here. Five of Wands. There could be something in this person's environment that is really impacting them emotionally or mentally, but they don't know how to come out of that situation. They don't know how to change their current circumstances. So for example, like if this person is having trouble in their current living situation, maybe they're feeling very defeated because as much as they're acknowledging that that situation is not working for them, maybe it's not as easy as just, moving out tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? Like there's something here that has been ongoing for this person in their environment, but they also feel like it's not easy to just dismiss it or come out of that very thing. The Five of Wands clarifying the Eight of Swords could also be someone who is feeling stagnant or mentally stuck because they're still thinking about some sort of a disagreement or something that you guys were not seeing eye to eye on. So the Five of Wands, it could be an obstacle, but it's usually something that lacks importance. So this person may be questioning whether they're holding a grudge or whether they're upset for the right or wrong reasons. Like, am I upset over something that's very minuscule? Should I get over it? That kind of energy. And it's interesting because, again, with the Seven of Cups, they're feeling so many emotions at once. They're thinking about so many things at once where really it's causing more confusion than anything. Four of Pentacles. So the confusion is what's causing them to remain a bit held back. It's like this person views you as someone that they do admire, someone that they feel very connected to. They feel like when they're with you, again, they're very emotionally content. But with the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, they also feel like they're constantly holding back or refraining from telling you what's really going on. There may be some sort of chaos or a situation that they're involved in that makes them feel a bit embarrassed. or maybe even guilty in some cases. And even if you're aware of this and you feel like it's nothing to be ashamed of, this is their feelings, right? So this is what's going on for them, where it's like, even if you don't view them in that light or you don't feel like something is embarrassing, this is how they're feeling. Three of Swords clarifying the Sun card. Wanting to heal some sort of hurt here, could even be heartbreak. And they really feel like things were running smoothly or they had some sort of hope. But I strongly feel that, you know, whether it's like a conversation or an obstacle that they were met with, like something happened recently where it really derailed them from this path or plan that they had in mind. Seven of Wands, causing them to feel wounded or a bit defensive here. I feel like this is someone who's trying their best to protect the connection with you. So, you know, if you guys have mutual friends or it's family that's asking about this connection, they're not speaking about it. There's something about, you know, keeping what's going on between the both of you to themselves. Very protective energy when it comes to this connection. And I feel like this person is feeling very defensive because of, you know, contradicting energies in their environment. So you could have picked up on this as you were connecting with this person as well, where it's like you may feel they have a very defensive nature because of how they were brought up, or maybe because of their home or living situation or the people that they surround themselves with, right? There's just like a very defensive energy coming through as well. Two of Cups. What's the Four of Pentacles? Magician. Yeah, this person's trying to manifest coming out of a situation that feels very draining. But a part of them knows that it's not an overnight process. It's not something that can just happen in an instance here. And with the Two of Cups clarifying the Five of Wands, it's like, yes, they're very protective of this connection with you. They feel very connected to you. Two of Cups is when someone is in love with you. But when you have the Five of Wands, there is either an obstacle in the way or there's something here in their environment that they want to put an end to. That could be the very thing they're trying to kind of like, where it's like they're manifesting themselves out of a situation that is no longer for them. There may even be some sort of disagreements when it comes to family and friends. So it doesn't necessarily have to just be on this person's end. It could be on your end as well, Gemini, where maybe your family doesn't agree with the relationship you have with this person, or maybe their family doesn't agree with the relationship that they have with you. But I see like an energy in their environment that is directly impacting this connection. Four of Swords. What's the Four of Swords? The Lovers. Yeah. So they definitely are healing, using this time to heal. Or it could be that even if this person is communicating with you, they kind of pull back their energy, or it's very on and off. But as much as this person feels connected to you, as much as they're in love with you, there's going to be like a life-altering decision that they're going to need to make in order to actually be in a connection with you. So even if you're communicating with this person, even if you're connecting with them, they're feeling a bit discouraged this week because they're thinking about the reality of the situation. And even if they make a decision to be with you, there is another energy or something else in their life that they're going to have to worry about. So it's almost like looking at a situation and saying, why can't I just be with Gemini peacefully? Why is it that if I want to be with Gemini, then, you know, so-and-so, you know, has to say this, or so-and-so has to do that, or I have to be affected, or my job has to be affected. Like they feel like there's other things that are impacted by this connection here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Okay, guys, so we have two cards here. We have Curious, okay? And we also have Empowered, powerful, capable, strong. I'm hearing fire signs, okay? So you could be thinking of an Aries, Leo, or a Sagittarius here. It doesn't have to be the case, Cancer. It's just something that I'm intuitively picking up on. But we have Curious and Empowered. Because it's kind of giving me the King of Wands energy in tarot, where someone seems to be, you know, yes, thinking about you, but also very fixated on you this week. They could be very curious or intrigued by you in one way or another. but they're also feeling very, like, there's a lot of passion here. They're feeling very, there's a lot of confidence as well, and they're feeling like they want to pursue you. They're feeling very confident about pursuing you. Very, very intrigued by you is what I see. So it could be, you know, just the way you carry yourself. Maybe it's something that you do for work. Maybe it's a combination of a few things. So let's see here. How does this person feel about Cancer? Okay. So the Six of Wands wanted to pop out here. Some of you may be in the public eye. Okay, so it could be someone who is like watching you or fixated on you, and they're wanting to pursue you. So bottom of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups, and then we have the Knight of Cups. Yeah. You're receiving an emotional confession, or someone is going to confess their emotions to you here. Possibly already have as you're watching my read. You know, energies are fluid, but Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups. This is someone who admires you. This is someone who, there could be something that they really adore about you as well. Like there's a very, like I'm sensing like a youthful energy, or like your perspective or your outlook on life seems very innocent, or there's just a very different approach from how they view things or what they're used to. And Ace of Cups and the Knight of Cups is really someone who wants to come in and sweep you off your feet here. They also view you to be very charming. Let's see, how does this person feel about Cancer? Five of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, and the Five of Wands. This person feels like you're a bit difficult to get through to. So I wonder if like maybe the communication isn't consistent, or they feel like you have some sort of a guard up and they're wanting to better understand you or get to know you, but they feel like you're not letting that guard down. They're definitely viewing you as someone who doesn't really trust people or situations very easily, and you take quite some time to allow people to have some sort of, you know, other people to have some sort of space in your life here. This could be someone who is going through like financial troubles, or, you know, there could be some sort of obstacles when it comes to their stability, because we do have the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. Page of Swords. They're viewing you as someone who really doesn't have time for the games or the arguments or the back and forth. Like they're viewing you in a very clear-cut energy. And what's interesting is I'm getting a strong energy of someone who is confessing how they feel towards you, but there may be something that's going on in the background that they don't want you to know about, because they feel like it would change your perspective of them. And with the Page of Swords, I feel like as much as this could be someone who's confessing their emotions to you, they have been watching you from afar. And I don't say that in like a, you know, creepy or dramatic way, guys. I mean it in a way where like if you work with this person, they have had an eye on you, or they have been developing emotions for you, or wanted to connect with you, but now they're actually doing the communicating or connecting. But I don't feel like it's something that's instant. I feel like this person has been, like their emotions have been brewing, or they have been, you know, kind of like keeping an eye on you, or if it's social media, you know, maybe they've been following you on social media or something like that. Two of Pentacles clarifying the Five of Pentacles. This person's at a very, like a place in their life where they don't necessarily feel balanced. So they could be like, you know, juggling between two things. They could feel like they have a lot on their plate. There's almost a sense of, I don't know what to call home, or I feel very all over the place. Queen of Swords is being clarified by the Hierophant. Okay. Yeah. It seems to me that this could be someone who is definitely thinking about a commitment, but they're also thinking about, you know, their values versus your values, and how something could actually work out in the real world here. Because there's a very, yes, they're thinking about things from a logical point of view, but they also don't feel the most balanced in their life. So it's like a lot of things hitting them at once, or focusing on not just the connection, or not just having a connection with you, but maybe another area of their life as well. Queen of Swords and the Hierophant could also be putting an end to a commitment or something that is not serving you. A commitment doesn't always have to be another relationship, guys. It could most definitely be like a career, or, you know, we do have the Five of Pentacles as the first card in their feelings. Six of Pentacles. So this is someone who could even possibly feel like in the past there was a falling out or a misunderstanding due to the fact that they were neglecting a situation with you. They were trying to either give to more than one situation and trying to keep it balanced or under wraps until it fell apart. Or it's an energy of feeling like, you know, when I had the opportunity to invest in a connection with Cancer, I was more focused on, you know, career or work, or, you know, something else, where I was neglecting the situation with Cancer. King of Swords, Queen of Swords. So someone who may even be a little bit distant from you in the current moment feels like they still have a lot of love for you. They just feel very torn because, you know, there's something going on in their personal life, whether it's a conflict, whether it's something you're aware of, because it is impacting the connection here, where they don't know how to find a balance. You have someone here who's like, I want to invest in Cancer and give to Cancer, but there's also another situation that I feel entitled to. I can't keep both because I feel like there's a lack of balance, but what do I do? And is there a point in me reconnecting with Cancer, because I'm viewing Cancer as someone who's had it up till here? So whether it's something you communicated, or they're just picking up on this based off of the energy that you're exuding. Knight of Swords, okay? And then the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, this person feels an urgency to offer you something very stable with the Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles. This person is still very intrigued by you, or there's something in particular that you've communicated this week where they're like, okay, I want to know more. Or maybe there's something that you made visible or publicized on social media, and they're just wanting to know more about that. Very curious energy, hence why that's the card that came out in their feelings first. But Knight of Swords and the Ace of Pentacles is giving me an energy of, again, someone who is wanting to offer you something stable, yes, but there's also an urgency that they feel when it comes to communicating with you. This person may even feel like they're running out of time. Ten of Swords clarifying the Six of Pentacles, and the Five of Cups clarifying the King of Swords. What's the Five of Cups? The Four of Pentacles, yeah. Definitely struggling with getting over the past, or some sort of feeling mistreated, or any mistreatment in the past here. So whether it's they feel wronged in this situation, or they also feel like they were focused on their wrongdoings, it's not really about the blame game. I just see disappointment in how things have occurred in the past. And with the Four of Pentacles being the closing card and the Five of Pentacles being the first card there, this person they feel like they're either starting from rock bottom, or there's an energy of like, I want to feel like myself again. I want to be at a better space. Like if they recently took like a very large financial hit, they are working towards feeling like themselves again, or feeling stable again, in order to think more clearly about this connection here. You have someone here who's thinking about you this week, but they also feel like there's a conflict that is ongoing for them this week. So it's like they're facing a conflict in their personal life, but then they're also thinking about you because it is affecting the connection with you. Like that's what I'm seeing here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo, so let's see the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay. Okay, so we have the card Grateful here, okay? So this could be someone who is feeling grateful for having, you know, met you, or it could be that they're reminded of like some sort of positive memories that you guys share. But I do believe that they are focusing or feeling very optimistic about this connection with you, or focusing on the optimistic side of things, even if you feel like you're not currently in that space. Let's see here. Page of Pentacles, okay, and the Judgment. Seems to me that this person is grateful for some sort of clarity that they're receiving about you. Because with the Judgment and the Page of Pentacles, the way that this energy is coming through is receiving some sort of clarity, and it is helping them feel more confident in communicating with you or approaching you with something that they have been thinking about. So like if you're conversing with this person, maybe there's something that you tell this person where they feel more comfortable to express their feelings. And so this is an opportunity for them to tell you how they feel, even though they've been feeling this way for quite some time. Now they could feel like it's the right time to express it, just as a generic example. So let's see, how is this person feeling about Leo? Justice card, okay, and the Five of Swords. Making something right with you, balancing the scales after viewing or analyzing a situation and feeling like that wasn't handled in a fair manner. So whether it's they feel like they did not, receive an opportunity to maybe speak about something from their end, whether it's they feel like they did not allow you to express your opinion, whether it's a little bit of both here, right? They're trying to make something right after a conflict, and that's what they're thinking about, or that's how they're feeling when they're thinking of you this week. With the Justice card as well as the Five of Swords, I also feel like this is someone, yes, it's an energy of making things right, but also standing by what they said. So there could be something where the both of you disagree or you're not seeing eye to eye on it. So it's not like this person is making things right by smoothing that over or just pretending that there's something that you guys are not disagreeing on. It's more of an energy of, okay, even if we do disagree on that very thing, how do we work through that? How do we overcome that? It's like, it's really not, it's not an energy of I'm going to change my opinion just so I can satisfy Leo or the connection. Instead, it's like, I'm going to stand by what I said, but I still want to let Leo know that I want to work this out, or I want to be at a better space. We have the Nine of Pentacles, okay, and the Three of Swords. Definitely viewing you as being more focused on yourself, but there's something about that very thing that feels hurtful to this person. A bit of an odd message, but that's what's coming through here. So whether it's, you being in a more independent energy is causing this person to believe that you're not as invested in this connection as you once were. Or maybe they feel like you've kind of shifted the focus to yourself where you're not really interested in this person anymore, or your emotions have changed. There's some sort of hurt that they feel when it comes to you kind of like shifting the focus to yourself. Even if it's, focusing on yourself and turning your back towards this situation. That could be the very thing that is, hurting this person, or they're having a hard time figuring out how they can communicate with you, or if you're going to receive what they're saying the way that they want you to. The Strength card. You have someone here who's wondering, like, specifically if you're going to forgive something that happened. Because they're viewing you in a very, the door is closed. This is, this is how I see things, or I said what I said and I meant what I said kind of energy. Very clear-cut energy here, right, Leo? But with the Strength card, like what I'm, specifically getting is someone who's wondering if you're going to be able to forgive them or forgive something that occurred between the both of you. And they're having a hard time believing you will because of your current energy. So I'm not saying that you're not willing to forgive this person, but the way that they're viewing you is like, when you were disappointed or let down, you shifted the focus to yourself, you closed the door, and you've been held back since. So now it's like, I want to talk to Leo, but I don't know if Leo's going to forgive me or forgive that very thing. I feel like Leo has, close the door on me, or I don't have access to Leo. So how am I supposed to get this done? How am I supposed to execute this Hermit? This person has been thinking about you quite a bit in solitude, and the Hermit does speak about some sort of wisdom that this person is gaining during this period as well, right? So as much as they may not be happy with how things are progressing, they're also learning a lot about you or this connection here. You could be thinking of a Virgo. They're keeping a lot to themselves. And even when it comes to figuring out their next steps or the things that they're curious about, they try their best to figure these things out on their own. So this could be someone who's more of a lone wolf, or they just spend a lot of time alone. Could even be picking up on a very private energy where this person doesn't necessarily express their issues, not even to family or friends here. Because I'm getting someone who feels a bit isolated, but they're also choosing to remain in that energy. Four of Cups. Yeah, and I did say that this person could feel like you're, they could feel the energetic shift, or they feel like your emotions are changing. And the Four of Cups is, it could be questioning your interest, feeling like you're growing bored or impatient with the situation. Because as much as they're thinking about you, they're like, okay, there's a lot going on in my heart and in my mind, but not the reality, not in my reality. The reality of the situation seems to be very different from what they're wanting or dreaming of. And the Four of Cups could be like when you're not happy in the present moment, but you're having a hard time acting on it or coming out of that situation. Knight of Pentacles. Really just pausing and observing this connection this week. Observing, some sort of hurt that they feel, figuring out where that hurt is stemming from. Taking things extremely slow, even to the point where you may feel like this connection was stagnant for quite some time, because Four of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles is someone who is taking their time, yes, but it's stemming from a space, or it's coming from a space of feeling very overwhelmed by their emotions. And they're trying to figure out what to do on their own. Even though it seems to me that they're feeling a bit conflicted or confused on it, they're not really, voicing that to anyone. Eight of Swords, yeah. And the Queen of Swords, feeling very mentally stuck. This may even be someone who is, again, like I see someone who wants to make it right? And it could be stemming from a space of this connection. I still feel connected to Leo, or this connection is really important to me. I'm very grateful to have met someone like Leo. But Eight of Swords, Queen of Swords, and the Five of Swords is giving me an energy of someone who does not know how to speak to you when you are upset with them. And in no way am I saying, that means, Leo, that you are this horrible person when you're mad, or you're scary when you're mad, or whatever it is. That's not what I'm getting at. It's just like, for example, when you guys have a disagreement, maybe in the past you were always the one to like fix the disagreements, or you were always the one to kind of like, let your guard down and say, okay, let's work this out. But this time around, there's something about you being very held back, where maybe this time feels more real than any other time ever has, like any other time has for them, right? And so there's an energy of, Leo's upset or Leo's frustrated, but I don't know how to approach them. I don't know how to speak to them. The Star card, you could be thinking of an Aquarius. And we also have the King of Swords. Yeah. King of Swords, Six of Cups. Yeah. Reminiscing, definitely feeling very nostalgic. But when it comes to communicating, I feel like there's going to, like a pause or a break is going to continue, because you have someone who is sitting in their emotions, feeling very upset about it, but also it's stemming from a space of, I don't know how Leo is going to receive what I'm going to say. And I also feel like if I were to dig beneath the surface, this is someone who could genuinely be viewing you as Leo doesn't feel the same way. Leo's emotions have changed. Because there's no way that, Leo and I wouldn't be speaking for this long if, the emotions were still there, or they're really doubting that you're viewing them in the same light. Because what's different to them is you've completely shifted the focus to yourself, or you're not investing in this person or giving them as much energy as you used to. And it's really kind of like confusing them. Or at least the message that they're receiving is you're not as invested as you once were. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Virgo. Okay, Virgo. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Okay, so we have two cards here. We have unsure, okay, uncertain, doubtful, not confident. And then we also have surprised, startled, flabbergasted, astonished. Okay, so Virgo, this is giving me a very clear message that it's kind of giving me the energy of the Tower card in Tarot. I'll tell you why, because With the surprise card, I do feel like this is someone where they feel like either like something that you guys are connecting on this week feels very unexpected. Maybe even just connecting with you feels very unexpected. But then we also have the unsure card where it, like, the image is kind of giving me the energy of someone who's like in between worlds, or they are really happy about something, but they're not sure if they truly believe it. Like something could even feel like it's too good to be true. But I do see it as a very unexpected decision that they're having to make. Like, for example, if this person was just, you know, single or focusing on themselves, then they met you and fell for you. Now it's an unexpected decision to make in terms of, do I want to be in a commitment or do I want to focus on myself? You know, that's just a generic example, but I see a very unexpected decision, like where this person's like, I didn't expect to have to decide that so soon, or I didn't expect to feel that way, you know, so soon, that led to a decision. So let's see here. Yeah, something is moving much more quickly than this person anticipated. How is this person feeling about Virgo? The Sun card, you could be dealing with a Leo, and we have the Death card, possibly a Scorpio. Yeah, this is strongly giving me like death and rebirth energy, or someone who could even feel like meeting you has opened up some sort of a new door, or meeting you has really changed their mind on relationships. It's almost like a brand new perspective. You know, meeting you could just feel like a breath of fresh air here. But I also see someone who feels like they are able to be happy after some sort of like, you know, emotional turmoil, or some sort of like very difficult phase that they were in their life, or cycle that they were, that took a while to complete here. So let's see, how does this person feel about Virgo? The King, sorry guys, the King of Pentacles, okay, and the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, you have someone here who like wholeheartedly wants to invest in you. What they're thinking about is a future, what they're thinking about is a family dynamic here, what they're thinking about is how to grow and build with you financially as well. You guys could be in like kind of the same industry in terms of like your career, or like what you guys do for work could kind of like correlate. Maybe, you know, it goes hand in hand. Like if this person is maybe like a business owner, maybe you are in the marketing industry, and so you're able to help this person, or something of that sort. Like there's some sort of correlation to your careers, or this person wants to grow and build with you, and feels like you guys could have a very stable life together as well. You could be thinking of another earth sign, so another Virgo like yourself, Capricorn or Taurus. But I feel like this person, you know, how they feel is, I want to invest in Virgo. I want, I have a higher level of commitment on my mind. I'm thinking of a family dynamic. They're planning for the future. They're making some sort of long-term plans here. It's not someone who's just being impulsive. Queen of Pentacles, wow. So a true pair match. You know, what this person is realizing is that you have a very similar mindset to them. They may appreciate the fact that you're very realistic, or you're able to see things from like, you know, more of a practical point of view. But it's something that helps them feel grounded as well, because it's very similar to the way that they process things, the way that they think. Seven of Cups. This person could be wondering if you are keeping your options open, because it is someone who is feeling very connected to you, but I don't believe that this is a connection that is, you know, exclusive, or at least not as of yet. So wanting something to feel more tangible, but with the Seven of Cups, it could also be someone who's wondering if, like, you know, you're keeping your options open, or maybe they feel like there are a little bit of mixed signals between the both of you, where they're trying to put a finger on how Virgo feels, and some days they feel like they know exactly how you feel, and other days maybe you're a little more detached and they're not able to, you know, pinpoint how you're feeling or how you're viewing them. You could be thinking of a Scorpio or an Aquarius. Seven of Swords clarifying the King of Pentacles. I feel like there's also a bit of a strategic energy here, right, guys? Seven of Swords doesn't always have to be dishonesty, but I have to keep in mind, guys, even if I do see the Seven of Swords in a spread, I have to read it with every other card that's around the spread here, right? So with the Seven of Swords, I do feel like there's a bit of strategy in how this person is wanting this connection to progress, or at least in their approach here. Okay, what's the Seven of Swords? The Page of Cups. Yeah, I don't really see that as negative. I more so see it as someone who is going to be flirting with you, someone who's going to be very charming. But behind this very lighthearted, fun approach, they have more in mind, which is stability, which is building with you. The way that this energy is coming through, Virgo, is like when this person communicates with you, you may feel like, you know, they're very adorable, or they're someone that you really admire, and it's a very kind of like lighthearted energy. But don't let this person's demeanor fool you. Behind that, they do have stability on their mind. They are thinking about building with you. It's their approach. It's just that their approach could be a little different, or how things initially start between the both of you could be a little different. The World card clarifying the Ten of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords clarifying the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, for some of you, this person's quite literally moving closer to you. The World card and the Six of Swords could be travel, could be, you know, this person relocating. So for some of you, it's like they're feeling very surprised, or they're feeling very... It's like meeting you could have been very unexpected, but the big decision could be quite literally relocating here. Seven of Cups being clarified by the Ten of Cups. Yeah, the only distance that I see here, guys, is physical. I don't see emotional distance. I see someone who, you know, feels very connected to you and is like quite literally like relocating. So you may currently be in a long distance union, or the communication between the both of you is strictly online. And so that's going to be changing. And the big decision could quite literally be, okay, this is someone I feel connected to. Now I want to move closer so I could be closer to Virgo and feel closer to Virgo and get this off the ground here. Yes, they feel like this would be a very stable connection, but they also feel very emotionally content when they are connecting with you. There's something about your energy that makes this person feel very, very balanced, or makes them, gives them some sort of... like confirmation that they are on the right path, or gives them some sort of almost like feeling like they are doing the right thing, or feeling like they are being loved for who they are. Like there's a very comforting and balanced energy, but also like I feel like it stems from a place of this person feeling you guys have similar mindsets. So it could be, finally, I've met someone who thinks like me, or who thinks very similar to how I do, or their outlook on, you know, life and relationships is similar. And so they're feeling good about that. Six of Wands, definitely wanting a very successful outcome here. Tower card, which is what I was mentioning with the surprise card. I was saying I was getting the energy of, you know, someone feeling very, like something happening very unexpectedly. You may have some sort of a surprise visit from this person. And if the visit itself is not a surprise, it could be that when you're communicating with this person this week, they're telling you that they booked a flight, or they're taking a road trip towards you. But there's some sort of like travel that is very unexpected, or you don't expect someone to just, come and meet you in person so soon. This is a very specific message, but I could see very clearly that there's physical distance here. Ten of Wands. And the Emperor. What's the Emperor? Seven of Wands, the Devil, and the Moon card. Okay, yeah. So I feel like this person is putting an end to what they have been worrying about. They're putting an end to whether it's being up in their mind or feeling very uncertain. I feel like this is someone who is moving towards you. Not only because they want to feel closer to you, but they want to get something off the ground here. They have ended a cycle with the Ten of Wands that has been very toxic, that has been very unhealthy for them. And it may even be an energy of they're not dealing with emotions that haven't left. That's not the best way for me to explain it. But the Devil and the Moon is still dealing with some sort of emotions in terms of, like, for example, if they have gone through a very tough situation, they feel like it deeply impacted them to the point where they have trust issues, but they're keeping that under wraps, or they're kind of keeping it to themselves and working through it instead of just telling you or being vocal about it and not doing anything about it. Like, I do feel like there's some sort of a battle or some sort of hurt this person is still working through, but they're keeping it to themselves, and they feel like they needed to end a cycle. Like it was much needed. It's not like they regret a change they made. They're just dealing with the aftermath of the change that they made. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Libra. Okay, Libra. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have two cards here. We have proud, okay, and we also have vulnerable. Okay. Very interesting energy here, Libra. I mean, this may be someone who is like celebrating something this week, or they could be aware of something that you are celebrating or something that you've accomplished, but I feel like this is something is being exposed or something is coming to light. It doesn't necessarily have to be negative, but it is causing this person to feel a bit vulnerable or defensive. So whether it's something that they're communicating to you and they feel a bit vulnerable opening up about that very thing, or maybe it's something that you've figured out about this person, but it wasn't directly through them, and that's what's causing them to feel a bit, powerless here. Let's see. How does this person feel about Libra? Okay, so we have the Six of Wands. Yeah, there's some sort of a celebration, or like you've recently accomplished something, right? Some of you may even be in the public eye. We have the Moon card. I'm getting two things here. Like the first thing that I'm getting is like you could be in the public eye and there's something here that is visible to this person and they could be feeling a little bit vulnerable about something they want to share and they're keeping it to themselves. But the other thing that I'm getting here, guys, is like, even if you're not in the public eye, like you may be someone who receives a lot of attention, or maybe this person feels like you're highly sought after. There's something that feels a bit discouraging for them, or there's some sort of insecurities that are resurfacing, but they're keeping it to themselves. You could be dealing with a Pisces. Okay. How does this person feel about Libra? Let's see. The Page of Wands, okay, and the Hanged Man. There's something to do with the communication between the both of you starting very strongly, but then coming to a halt. So whether it's because something was said and maybe it led to silence, or it's just like maybe your schedules are clashing, or maybe, there's something that got in the way here. It's almost like the communication has started off very strong, but then it's come to some sort of a halt is what I'm seeing in this person's feelings. It could even be something that they expressed and they're over-analyzing whether or not they have, said too much about themselves, or whether or not they should have opened up about something that is a little bit more sensitive for them to speak about. And they're thinking of you quite a bit here with the Hanged Man, but they also feel like the communication or the progress between the both of you is, feeling very stagnant or stuck. Ten of Cups. Someone who feels very like deeply connected to you, but they're also thinking about a commitment or some sort of a family dynamic here. So like this person could have expressed that their goals or their goal here was to date to marry, or they do have a desire to have their own family or something along the lines of that. But they are thinking about a family dynamic when they think about the connection with you as well. The Four of Pentacles. Thinking about stability, wanting something to feel a lot more tangible between the both of you. So even if you're connecting with this person, they may feel like, the situation is not as stable as it can be. Or it could be the fact that the communication is at a pause, or it's very on and off, and they want more consistency in order to put their hope into this and say, okay, yes, we are building a stable connection here. There's something about the foundation that doesn't necessarily feel that it is as stable as it could be to this person. The Hermit, you could be thinking of a Virgo. keeping a lot to themselves. This may be someone who is who has been on their own for quite some time as well. Where, yes, they're feeling connected to you. Connecting with you is, you know, resulting in them thinking about having their own family or having maybe desires that weren't really present in the past. But it's like they're not, you know, entirely being vocal about it. It's almost like this person has communicated something to you and now they're sitting there thinking about whether they have said too much, or they, you know, shouldn't have communicated as much as they have, or there's something in particular that's very sensitive and now it's out in the open. So it's like, okay, well, I can't even hide it now. It's already out in the open. 10 of Pentacles. It's almost like this, something is not going as this person planned or as it was playing out in their mind. So it's like, you know, if they felt like, okay, the conversations between Libra and I are starting off very good and, you know, coming in very hot and heavy, then, you know, I did not expect things to come to a halt. So what do I do now? It's like something here is almost causing them to feel a bit like it's derailing them. Chariot. Could be thinking of a Cancer. This person, I see this person moving forward regardless of, you know, the stagnancy. I feel like they are going to be reconnecting with you because there's a deep desire to explore the potential here. There's a deep desire to have a commitment with you. It just seems to me that this is someone who's definitely overanalyzing everything that they tell you, or opening up to someone else takes everything in them. And the fact that they've done that when it comes to you could cause them to feel a bit vulnerable. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be a negative thing. It could just be there's some sort of discomfort associated with it because it's not what they're used to. Wheel of Fortune. So this is something working out in your favor. So even if the connection feels stuck in the current moment, I feel like this is a positive change. The Wheel of Fortune could also be when you're, you know, coming out of a fixed energy. So even if it is that this person is holding on to something that doesn't serve them, if they're thinking about or feeding into negative thoughts that are, you know, causing an obstacle in pursuing you, like they are releasing that. This is a change, a very positive change where you're coming out of a very stagnant or fixed space. Six of Pentacles, very generous energy, wanting to give to the situation with you, wanting to invest in you here. And the Six of Pentacles could even be that, you know, this person is viewing you as someone who's very generous, very giving. Some of you could do some sort of charity work, or your career, you know, it is like you directly involved with helping those, you know, in your environment here. Ace of Wands. It's such an interesting energy here, Libra, because it's almost like the communication comes in hot and heavy, then it stops. That's how this person feels, and then there's like, and then it picks up again, like nothing happened, or it picks up again and it moves even more quickly than it has the first time. So you have someone who could even feel like they're in their own way, where it's like, I'm overthinking everything that I'm saying and it's causing stagnant energy between Libra and I. I'm going to continue opening up even though it feels scary, or even though there's some sort of discomfort. And as I say, that King of Cups, that's someone who's opening up their heart to you. They're opening up to you emotionally. Does it feel a bit uncomfortable? Yes. Does it feel a bit, you know, I'm not in familiar territory? Yes. But they're still going about it the way that they feel, or they're following their heart because they have a commitment in mind. Ace of Cups. Yeah. I don't really see anything to like necessarily worry about. As much as there's a bit of a hesitant energy, I see this person overcoming it. I see this person saying, okay, well, maybe it feels uncomfortable, but this is what I want. And they're very determined. I also feel like this person is someone who's going to open up to you emotionally, tell you how they feel, and they're really good at expressing their emotions as well. So I see some sort of like a heart-to-heart conversation, or more of like an emotional confession on the horizon here. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, so the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Okay, guys, so we have two cards here. We have hopeless. Okay, but then we also have loving. Scorpio, why do I feel strongly that the person you're thinking about feels a very deep connection when it comes to you? It may even be someone you're communicating with, spending quality time with, but there's something about the future of this connection that could be causing them to feel a bit hopeless. Or they're having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, even if it's just in the current moment here. Because it's almost like two opposing energies that's coming out in their feelings here. Let's see. Three of Pentacles. It may be someone that you work with. Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck. Okay, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is someone who is highly attracted to you. They feel like there's a lot of you know, passion between the both of you. There's a lot of attraction. There's a lot of emotion. It's someone who feels like, even like they feel very drawn to you. They can't really put their finger on why, but they're observing something that doesn't feel stable or realistic in this connection. It could even be that they're living in the moment, but they're like, okay, what's going to happen like 6 months from now? What's going to happen a year from now? Okay. Could be a fire sign or an earth sign that you're thinking about. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. How is this person feeling about Scorpio? The Tower. Okay. The Seven of Swords. And the Sun card. Something came out, or some sort of truth was revealed. There's even an energy of feeling a bit exposed here. Tower, Seven of Swords, and the Sun card. You know, whether this be a truth on your end, on this person's end, whether it's just something that was revealed about this connection, but maybe it was just, even if it wasn't anything to do with you or this person, it could be something that was impacting this connection. But there's an energy of feeling very exposed. There's an energy of feeling like, okay, something is out in the open. What do I do about it? I even feel with the Tower and the Seven of Swords, this person could have been keeping something under wraps, right? Or they were concealing something. But it got to the point where, you know, it's out in the open, but they're still not really, like, they haven't owned up to it, or they haven't brought you clarity about it. And they're thinking about, you know, this very, you know, thing, or the dishonesty here, but like, as much as it's being illuminated to them that something feels wrong, or maybe you weren't prepared for something, but this is what you should do about it, they're having a hard time accepting what actually happened. So either this could be something that happened very recently, or it's still very fresh on their mind, where it's like, okay, like I'm still processing this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what my next steps should be. Hermit, they feel safer in your silence this week, or they feel safer keeping something to themselves. But what I will say is the truth that has resurfaced has caused this person to go within and really look at themselves, or it could even be an energy of completing some sort of shadow work. It's basically when, with the Tower and the Hermit, something occurs in your, something occurs for you, not to you, it occurs for you, so you can turn inward and focus on something that is within you, that is, you know, impacting you in a negative way. It pretty much causes that very, like, a suppressed emotion or a suppressed thought to resurface or come to light here. And it's like they're looking at the truth that resurfaced as, that's something I could have not changed. It was going to come out regardless. But it doesn't change the fact that they're still feeling very hopeless about their next steps here. The Tower is being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. What's the Seven of Swords? The Two of Cups. Yeah, I mean, this is someone who feels very connected to you with the Two of Cups, the Sun card. This is someone who feels like they could even be viewing you as soulmate. But they're also aware that there was a lot of secrecy in this connection, or there was a side of them that you did not know, or there was something they weren't telling you, where they know that it would be difficult to convince you that they care about you, but they weren't ready to tell you something, even though that's how they feel. Because they feel like not communicating something to you soon enough has, caused you to view them as dishonest, or maybe even caused you to question their motives or feelings towards you, but they still feel the same, or they're looking at you like, I feel strongly towards you, but that was one thing that I wasn't ready to communicate, or that was one thing that I was too embarrassed to communicate. Like, there is something that they're trying to justify here. High Priestess. Definitely using their intuition to kind of maneuver through the situation this week, Scorpio. I feel like they're trying to figure you out, but they're not really asking you how you're feeling. Could even be telepathic communication between the both of you with the Two of Cups as well as the High Priestess. And like the energy that I'm getting here, Scorpio, is like this person feels like the connection with you feels so right. It always has felt right. It still does, clearly, in their feelings, but there's something that they were doing that was wrong. Or it was approached in a wrong way, or it was, there was a false start to begin with. So it's like the connection feels so right, but there are certain things impacting it, or my approach towards it was wrong. We have the Knight of Pentacles clarifying the Hermit. They feel very stuck. Specifically when it comes to what do I do next? They know they have emotions for you. They know they still feel the same way. There's an energy of longing. But because a truth has resurfaced, they're like, what do I do about that? Like, what can I do now to reverse the effects of that? The Nine of Swords, thinking about the situation is really stressing them out. They feel like they lost someone that was invested in them and did not make them question their love. Which is you, which is how they're viewing you, Scorpio. So this is really impacting them on a mental level. It's even a very anxious energy associated with that, where it's like, what's going to happen next? Or like feeling very jittery, or like a lot of worry as well. Four of Pentacles. Fighting the urge to reach out, fighting the urge to even speak to you about how things can be more stable. I feel like this is someone who's either really embarrassed about something that resurfaced, or it's a pretty big truth that has come out where they're like, well, what do I do? Because I almost see it as someone who is lost, confused. Three of Swords clarifying the High Priestess, Eight of Pentacles clarifying the Knight of Pentacles. What's the Eight of Pentacles? Hanged Man. This person is using work as a distraction, or they're, it's like, for example, if they are someone who, works away from home, because of course, maybe for some of you, they work from home, but if they work away from home, they're spending more time at work. They're spending more time doing something that is progressing for them so they can avoid thinking about the situation, because it's stressing them out to the point where they're trying to run from it. I do see there's some sort of wisdom that they're gaining. I do see that it's triggering them to, like, it's triggering some sort of deeply rooted issues or suppressed emotions. But instead of dealing with those emotions, I think this person is trying to run from it because it all seems like it's too much to deal with. Even if it's in the current moment, right? Like, even, like, I'm not saying this person is never going to be able to deal with maybe their shadow side or issues that are resurfacing, but this week it seems to me that they're feeling very overwhelmed by it, where they're like, the more I think about it, the more I feel like I'm driving myself up a wall. Or these emotions are so strong and I've suppressed them for so long, now that they're resurfacing, I don't know how to process or handle them. Okay, so that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay. Oh, okay. So we have 3 cards coming out here, guys. The first card we have is Disgusted, okay? And then we have creative, and we also have confident, self-assured, courageous, bold. Some of you could be inquiring about like an individual you're healing from, like maybe a situation that you feel disgusted by, a situation where you feel very disappointed in. And because the energies are very, very different here. It goes from like maybe being let down to feeling like yourself again, or feeling like you have, it's like you're feeling your spark again. You're feeling like yourself again, but after a very tough situation or a tough period here. Or something about a situation being very disappointing has led you to truly figure out maybe your purpose, or figure out what you're meant to do here. It's led you to another space in your life that feels a lot more positive, is what I'm getting at. Now, I also feel like you could be questioning yourself or a situation, you know, an individual, kind of asking yourself, how did I allow that to get to me? Or how did I allow that to have such a hold on me? Someone here could really be regretting their wrongdoings as well. Let's see. How's this person feeling? Four of Wands. Okay. And the Queen of Pentacles. This can most certainly be someone that you were in a higher level of commitment with. Or this situation did feel stable at one point or another. Like, even if it doesn't mean that you guys were in a higher level of commitment, maybe, or a living situation, it could be that that's what you guys were working towards. Or, you know, the energy was very consistent, or there was something that you guys were building together here. Let's see. How does this person feel about Sagittarius? Page of Swords, okay, and the Two of Swords. The more this person tries to figure you out, the more that they try to receive some sort of answer so they feel less emotionally confused, they actually become more confused. So, you know, the reason I say that is we have the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords. Page of Swords is an indirect energy, someone who's curious or intrigued, but they're not being direct with you. But with the Two of Swords, it's like, you know, that's why she's blindfolded in that card. There's something that this person is not seeing clearly. This could be a week where they're really struggling to see past illusions, or the reality of the situation in their mind is very different from the situation in reality. Whether it's overthinking the situation, whether it's the situation seems more complex in their mind. But with the Page of Swords and the Two of Swords, I feel like this is someone who is, yes, having a hard time seeing past illusions, but they're also feeling like there's a very consistent pattern in this connection, where they're having a hard time seeing how things can occur differently here. Five of Swords. Okay, so a lot of Swords energy. You definitely could be dealing with an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Yeah, I mean, they're very curious about you. They're having a hard time seeing past illusions, and it's stemming from a space of anger or frustration, because with the Five of Swords, they're still holding on to a disagreement, or they're still holding on to something that feels conflicting, and they're trying to view the dynamic from that perspective. But usually, just generically speaking, when we're thinking from a space of anger or frustration, we're not able to see things clearly. Right? So it kind of explains why the brain fog that this person feels, or the clouded thoughts that they feel. And it's like they're upset, so they're holding on to some sort of frustration, but they also can't stop wondering about you, or they can't stop feeling curious about what you're up to. King of Cups. And there it is, you know, it's because it, you know, if this person is frustrated or angry, it means that they still do have emotions for you, or still do care, which is what I see with the King of Cups. It's like they have emotions for you, but they're still holding on to maybe something that you guys are disagreeing on, for example, or something that upset them in this connection. Maybe something that from their end, right, like a wrongdoing, so holding on to a level of guilt. But there's a lack of clarity when it comes to what's really going on, or how you actually feel, because I feel like this is someone who's really up in their mind about you, but there are also a lot of assumptions or conclusions that they're jumping to. Magician. What's the Two of Swords? Four of Cups. not happy in the current moment is what I see. Not happy with the dynamic, but also having a hard time figuring out how to change that. More than having a hard time figuring out how to change that, it's like focusing so much on the past that you're not really in the most action-oriented energy. Like, even if they know what they need to do next, there's a lot of like sulking or being upset or thinking about what has already occurred, where it's creating a block in like, okay, this is what I need to do to move forward or find a solution. The Magician clarifying the Page of Swords. A part of them feels like they do have what it takes to change the current dynamic, but a part of them feels like it's all in my mind, because the Four of Cups could be a little bit of like a dreamy energy or like fantasizing or, you know, daydreaming, but it doesn't necessarily mean that that's occurring in your reality. So this is someone who's like, am I getting ahead of myself? Am I just in my, you know, up in my mind about this situation? Is what I'm thinking actually true? There are a lot of illusions that this person is having difficulty seeing past. Ace of Pentacles. Conflicted when it comes to offering you a new beginning, or feeling conflicted when it comes to looking at the situation and seeing how it could be stable, because that's something that they're not able to clearly see in the current moment. And in no way am I saying that this is a situation that doesn't have the potential to be stable, but I am saying that this is someone who is having a hard time seeing that in the current moment because of the circumstances. The World card clarifying the King of Cups, hoping that, you know, an emotional confession or a heart-to-heart conversation will change, you know, the direction that this connection is headed in. And what's interesting is it's someone who feels connected to you, which is why they want to express their emotions to you, but they also feel a lot of distance. Like they feel a gap here, whether it's because you guys are not speaking to each other, or they feel like you're not speaking to them the same way that you used to. Knight of Wands. What's the Four of Cups? Hierophant. Yeah. A lot of what could be, or what could have been. And so, you know, this is happening on an emotional and a mental level, but I do feel like as much as this person is thinking about these things, they're, again, having a hard time taking action. Hanged Man. Okay, what's the World card? The Hermit. Yeah. I feel like this is a very confusing week for this person, because yes, I can read it as someone who's thinking about a commitment with you, but they're not ready to speak to you, but or they don't know what to do, which, you know, again, that's what the cards are telling me. But digging beneath the surface here, Sagittarius, it really is someone who, I don't feel like the problem is what they need to do next. I think the issue is there's too much of a focus on the past, or they're thinking about so many things at once, where it's creating or it's causing them to be in a very confused state. And more so, or more than that, I'm seeing with the Five of Swords and the Two of Swords, the reason why this person is having a hard time releasing themselves from their emotions or thinking clearly is because there's a level of anger or frustration that this person is holding on to. So it's like, I want to reconnect, but I'm upset. But then it turns into, how mad am I if I'm still thinking about reconnecting? Okay. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn, so the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Oh, okay. So we have the card Excited, Elated, Thrilled, Enthusiastic, okay? And we also have Trapped. Imprisoned, cornered, stuck. You know, Capricorn, off the bat here, the person you're thinking about, I feel like there are some sort of mixed emotions that they feel. The reason I say that is, well, firstly, I'm seeing someone who feels like very confident or excited to, you know, pursue something with you, or maybe very excited to rekindle something with you, you know, if there's history between the both of you. But then they also feel very stuck, or the excitement or the confidence that they have doesn't last long. There could even be something that occurred very recently where if they felt like they were on the right path. Maybe they feel derailed in one way or another. Okay, let's see. How is this person feeling about Capricorn? Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Eight of Pentacles. Someone feels like completely like isolated, or feels like a complete outsider when it comes to you. Like they're viewing you as your back turned towards the situation, sure, but they're also viewing you as someone who is just now focused, just solely focused on your work or your career or something that is progressing for you, where your attention is no longer on them. Okay, how is this person feeling about the Seven of Swords? Wanted to pop out here. Cornered, stuck, imprisoned, and we did see the Seven of Swords. You may have called this person out on something, Capricorn, and they're like, what do I do now? Like, how do I respond to that? What can I even respond to that? Is there even a way that I can come back from you know, what Capricorn has found out here? The Star card. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. Okay. The Sun, Leo energy, and the Queen of Wands. There's something about you handling this situation much better than they expected you to, or they feel like your response is very different. Like, for example, if they felt like you were actually going to react or you know, to something that they've done or something that you found out, maybe you were just very subtle about it, right? But there's something very unexpected about how you're handling the situation or your response to what has occurred here. And with the Star card and the Sun card, it's like this person may be viewing this connection as a catalyst for their growth, or there's something here that they're realizing about themselves, but it took going through this connection or facing some sort of obstacle to realize that. Five of Swords, feeling very conflicted when they think about you, feeling very conflicted when they think about the situation at hand. And like something I'm getting specifically, Capricorn, is like this person may feel like they created some sort of a conflict, or they were more upset about, or focused on coming out of some sort of truth, or denying some sort of truth, or being a little bit, how do I want to explain this? It's almost like a truth has resurfaced, or you've called this person out on something, but instead of owning up to it, they were trying to kind of like come out of the situation, or just avoid it, or not address it at all. But they're starting to look at a conflict like, was it worth it? Like if they feel like they created a conflict just to avoid telling the truth, they're sitting back and looking at it like, was that really worth it? Because I should have just, you know, told the truth. The Ace of Pentacles being clarified by the Star card, and the Page of Wands, the Sun card. This person could also be feeling very stuck if you are involved in something new, or they sense some sort of a new opportunity that is occurring for you, because we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Page of Wands, and the Page of Wands is clarifying the Sun card. So this person may feel like, you know, you are genuinely not feeling the same way towards them, or you're more fixated on moving forward or moving on from this connection, because they sense some sort of a new opportunity that is occurring for you. Nine of Wands. Yeah, something you've called this person out on, or something that you've made clear, really, it's like, I'm getting the energy of like an ego death, or someone who feels like that really impacted their confidence. Whether it impacted their confidence because it affected the fact, or it affected them in the fact that, you know, they thought they were able to hide something. Whether it's impacting their confidence because it's something that they feel like is embarrassing about them, and maybe it resurfaced and that's something they're having a hard time accepting. It's like it somehow was impacting their confidence, because I see them in a very defensive energy. The Five of Swords is being clarified by the Five of Wands. They're really looking at the situation at hand as if it was very chaotic, as if there was a lot of drama that was present between the both of you. But this is something that was not visible to them as they were actively in the connection with you, or as they were dealing with, you know, the obstacles. Now they're looking at it like, wow, there was a lot that was going on. And I'm strongly feeling someone who feels like they could have avoided a conflict, like a conflict was not necessary, or responding to you. Sorry about that, guys, but responding to you, you know, whether it's with anger or in an angry tone, was not worth it. It's like I responded that way because I was trying to take myself out of a situation or avoid speaking about something. But now I realize that that conflict could have been avoided if I were just to, you know, not be upset or just speak my truth here. Ace of Pentacles, Hierophant. What's the Page of Wands? The Two of Swords. Could be someone that you were in a higher level of commitment with. But not only are they learning a lot about this connection, guys, like it's like they're starting to realize that what they feel is they're ready for the next step, which what the spread is telling me is they're ready to overcome some sort of conflict because they're starting to realize that it wasn't worth it. Now, with the Two of Swords clarifying the Page of Wands, I do believe that if you're conversing with this person, there's still a lack of clarity. There's still something here that they're not seeing clearly or they're a bit confused about. Two of Cups. What's the Five of Wands? The Temperance. Yeah. This person wants to resolve some sort of conflict with you. Do they feel stuck? Yes. Do they feel even cornered or exposed in a way? Yes. Because they did not expect a truth to come out, or they did not expect you to call them out on something that was ongoing. But now they're seeing it from a different perspective. And how you will know what they are focused on is the very thing that resurfaced here. This person responded with anger, or it turned into a conflict. Because now what I see clearly is wanting to resolve that conflict, or feeling like that conflict wasn't worth it at all. And it could have been something that they avoided in the past here. So they're not looking at their past actions and agreeing with it. Instead, they're like, I wish I could take that back. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, so the card that we have here is Overwhelmed. Okay, this card is kind of giving me the energy of the Ten of Wands in tarot. Like it could be someone who, well, you're definitely on their mind, but they could be feeling very overwhelmed or exhausted, where it's like they're carrying this very heavy load on their shoulders, or they're constantly thinking about this bond, but they don't know what to do about it. Or there's like a cycle here that feels like it's never ending. Yeah, like this person may feel like they're on, you know, what may feel like a hamster wheel when it comes to this situation here. Let's see. How's this person feeling about Aquarius? Emperor. You could be thinking of an Aries, and we also have the Three of Pentacles. This could be someone that you work with, Aquarius, or like they're an authoritative figure, because there's some sort of like a public image that they may have to maintain, or the way that others view them is very different from how you view them. Or in other words, like you see the real them, or you see a side of them that not many have access to. Okay. How is this person feeling about Aquarius? This person could also be going to someone whom they view as like a father figure for advice about this connection as well. Or wanting to heal a relationship with a father figure. Okay. So we have the Empress, and we did see the Emperor. You could be thinking of a Libra or a Taurus here. You may have children with this person, or, you know, maybe you have children of your own, but there's like something very, like a very strong energy about like a mother figure and a father figure coming out. So I wonder if I'm thinking about like, you know, the dynamic between the both of you, or, you know, for example, maybe you have children of your own and there's, you know, something to do with that there. And then we have the Four of Swords. It almost seems to me that this person is feeling very blocked when it comes to this connection, or they feel very like overwhelmed, or they don't know what to do next. Like they're thinking about you, but they also feel very like exhausted. But with the Four of Swords, that is an energy of like praying for a breakthrough. So they're wanting a breakthrough here, but it's almost like they're in a space of surrendering. Like, okay, I'm thinking about this situation. I don't know what to do. I'm just going to surrender and hope that the way is shown to me. The Ten of Cups. The Strength card. Someone is really fighting the urge to confess that they are thinking about a commitment with you. Like Ten of Cups and the Empress is like, they have a family dynamic in mind. They want to build with you. But there's a very hesitant energy, or there's a reason why they're held back. Like something could feel a bit wrong about it. Because the emotions are intense, but then the silence is also very loud. And really, you have someone who can't seem to figure out how to go about this situation, and they feel like the only thing left to do is completely surrender or release some sort of control that they've been holding on to for quite some time. Even if it means like detaching from a specific outcome. The Magician clarifying the Empress. Okay. The Four of Wands clarifying the Four of Swords, wanting to come together with you after some sort of a pause or a break here. It's like, as much as I sense some sort of distance here, Aquarius, I feel like this is someone, like, they are viewing you as home to them. Like, they feel like you are home. And so it's interesting because right now they feel like they're away from home and they can't stop thinking about you, but they're also feeling overwhelmed because of the current circumstances. So it's like, I can't control this anymore, or I can't have things work out exactly the way that I want them to. So there's a very strong energy of releasing control. Six of Swords, moving to calmer waters. And for some of you, this person could be moving away from their current living situation, right? And just because I'm saying family dynamic, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's another connection that this person's in, but it could be that they, you know, if they live with family, like their parents or their siblings, like they're moving away from that. They're leaving something that feels familiar behind. The Two of Wands, to focus on their future or plan something, you know, regarding their future here. Because the Two of Wands is about planning, but it's also like an energy of like waiting for a sign from you is coming through as well. They could even feel like reconnecting with you is something they've been waiting on for quite some time, but the timing was not right in the past here. What's the Magician? The Eight of Swords. Yeah, you have someone who's thinking about you, wanting to reconnect with you, and they're trying to manifest themselves out of a situation that is causing them to feel restricted or stuck. There's absolutely something in the way of this person being authentic with you in the current moment. And by authentic, I don't mean you don't know how this person feels. Maybe you're well aware of how they feel towards you, but they're not able to truly act on how they feel because of an obstacle. Knight of Wands. What's the Six of Swords? 10 of Swords and the Two of Wands, the Moon card. A situation coming to an end in order for another situation to come together. That's what I see. And the Moon card, you know, clarifying the Two of Wands there is someone who feels like they have kept their emotions or their plans to themselves for quite some time. Now, do I see this as an overnight process? No. But I see it as something that this person is willing to do, even though they're feeling, you know, a block, or even though they're feeling very restricted or overwhelmed. What's the Eight of Swords? The Ace of Swords. The Knight of Cups. So the truth, or what they feel like the right thing to do, is express how they feel towards you. So move closer towards you. But they also feel like they need to completely let go of something that no longer serves them, or move away from a situation or, you know, a dynamic that is causing a restriction or causing them to feel restricted when it comes to pursuing you. I feel like this is someone who's going to be very open and honest about their emotions. Five of Swords and the Page of Wands. They know that there has been a lot of conflict, or they could even feel like you're viewing them as someone who's not really worthy of your trust. Like someone who is very inconsistent with you, someone who is very in and out, maybe even viewing them in a little bit of like a player kind of perspective here. But what I see is someone who is moving away from one situation and moving closer to you. And there is a part of them that feels like if they were to express how they feel, it would create some sort of a breakthrough. What's the moon? The Page of Pentacles and the King of Cups. Yep. So pretty much what you don't see coming is like an emotional confession, or this person opening up to you, you know, emotionally, and telling you how they feel and telling you that they do want to move forward, or they have a commitment on their mind. It's very unexpected for you because you feel like this has been over for some time, or the ending occurred a while ago where you're in the process of moving forward. Your perspective of this person is they're inconsistent and they have a very in and out behavior. I do feel strongly towards them, but I don't think this person's connecting with me again, but I do see unexpected communication here. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, so we have hopeless. See, definitely going to clarify what's going on here, but pessimistic, defeated. I mean, the person you're thinking about, they definitely could be thinking about you or the situation, but there's something here that they feel they don't have power over, or something that's not in their hands. It's like, I see that this is impacting us, but I don't feel like I can personally do anything about it, or so that's how they feel. Okay. So we have the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Eight of Cups. It seems to me, Pisces, that someone is having a tough time watching you walk away, but the reasoning as to maybe why you're walking away or why you're detaching is very clear to them. So it's like, I know why Pisces is walking away, and so they have a right to do that, but it still hurts me to, you know, watch them walk away. I also feel like with the Queen of Pentacles, it could be that this person is really viewing you as like the one that got away, or like a missed opportunity to have something very stable with you. That could be the reason why we have the hopeless card, where it's like, you know, they know you're detaching, but they also know why. And so they're feeling defeated when it comes to actually finding a solution, or asking you for another chance here. How does this person feel about Pisces? The Lovers, you could be thinking of a Gemini, okay? The Judgment, you could be thinking of a Scorpio. The World card, okay, wow. So Lovers, Judgment, and the World card. 3 major arcanas. I see like either you've recently went through a breakup with this person, or there has been like a large or a huge energetic shift here. And this person is feeling very hurt, but they feel like it was supposed to happen, or there's nothing they could have done to avoid it. So they're having difficulty accepting an ending, or accepting that something is over and over for good. The Emperor, they may not be showing it on the outside. Maybe someone who has either like an image to maintain, or they're keeping a lot to themselves. Could be very difficult to read this week. And the thing is, they still feel very connected to you, but they feel like this is over, or, you know, if you've walked away or you communicated something to them, they feel like this time around it feels very real. Like they don't feel like you're going to go back on what you said. They don't feel like there's another chance here. And as much as they're feeling defeated, they're just, again, not showing it on the outside. The Lovers is being clarified by the Knight of Swords. Okay. So I do see this person is wanting to communicate with you. And then we have the Moon card, trying to figure you out, possibly even using their intuition to kind of like maneuver through the situation in the current moment. What's the World card? The King of Wands. Yeah. I mean, they can't help how they feel towards you. They can't help the fact that they still feel very fixated on you, but they're keeping a lot to themselves because they genuinely feel like a conversation would be pointless, or there's nothing that they can say to you to reverse the effects of what happened. They're really viewing you as someone who has made a change, or you're choosing to walk away, and this time around you're not giving them another chance, or you're not coming back around. So whatever it is that you communicated, whether it's through your words or through your actions, you've set very clear boundaries here. Do they still feel connected to you? Yes. Are they still paying attention to what you're doing? Yes. But Knight of Swords is like, there could even be, like Knight of Swords clarifying the Lovers, could even be this person feeling like they made a very impulsive decision and they're dealing with the repercussions of that. And by impulsive decision, it could be someone who kind of did something or said something in the moment, but wasn't realizing that it could really affect the connection that you guys share. Because for the Lovers to come out as the first card in their feelings, it's definitely someone who's viewing you as a soulmate, viewing you as, or the connection as something that's very special, very rare. The Emperor is being clarified by the Seven of Cups, not knowing how to feel. Knight of Swords, the Devil. Wow. This is a very strong energy coming through here, guys, because we have the Judgment, we have the World, we have the Lovers, we have the Moon card. Now we have the Devil. Like, this is someone who feels like they are going through a lot mentally and emotionally. They even feel like, you know, this disconnect has impacted their life in other areas of their life. And it's someone who's going through a lot emotionally, but holding on for dear life, or not really wanting to show it on the outside. I think that this is a situation that this person can't stop thinking about this week, because the Devil could even be symbolic for like obsessive thinking. And there's something here that's causing them to feel attached or chained to this connection in one way or another. For example, it could be the sorrow that they feel. It could be the guilt that they feel. It could be the fact that they truly can't accept that this is over, but there's an emotion or a thought that is still causing them to feel very attached to this connection with you. The Temperance, you could be dealing with the Sagittarius, King of Cups, wanting to find more balance or restore some sort of balance in this connection. Wanting to feel more at peace when they are, when they think of you, when they connect with you. Because this person is still viewing you as someone who has been very kind, very generous, very understanding. You are able to sympathize with them. You know, the King of Cups is upright, which is you in your element. But then we have the Temperance, which is like, I want to reciprocate that, or I want to restore some sort of, you know, balance, Six of Cups. You have someone here who feels like you're like irreplaceable. And this week in particular, they could be missing you quite a bit, thinking about you very frequently, even to the point where they feel like they can't get you off their mind. But with the Six of Cups energy, I also feel strongly that it's someone who wants to return to you. The Page of Swords, the Death card. Yep. Spying on you, because here's the best way for me to sum up their feelings. They're keeping tabs on you or curious about you because they still feel connected to you. And the reality of the situation is you've walked away, or even if the both of you made a mutual decision to, you know, be in separation or take a break here, the reality of the situation is a cycle has closed out. But in their mind, it's not over. In their heart, they still feel attached. So this could be something that happened very recently, or it feels like it because it's still fresh on their mind and the emotions still feel like almost as if it happened yesterday. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for you guys. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.